If you hold Solana, then it's extremely important you watch this video because the upcoming months may very well take Solana to new all-time highs and you won't want to miss it. And the sentiment among many crypto investors is just beginning to turn positive with their eyes on the fabled 1K target. Even Ansem, one of the most well-known Solana crypto influencers with more than 500,000 followers, recently shared the last time Solana consolidated for this long before a move, it 10x'd, and the fundamentals are about 10 times better at current moment. Given that the market cap is substantially higher, I am forecasting a 5x at minimum from the local highs of $200. Therefore, the next leg will take us up to $1,000+. In other words, if you're watching this any time before Solana is at least $250, then you're still early, but you don't want to wait any longer and you'll want to take action now before it's too late. Already we're seeing all of the signs of a major move coming for Solana, and in this video we'll share why we believe at least $1,000 as a price target may be even conservative. We'll be covering on-chain analytics like TVL or total value locked, as well as social sentiment, how it stacks up against Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, and Doge, as well as its trending social rank and why that matters. We'll be diving into a few separate articles and factors that could be the most bullish catalyst for Solana's ascent to new all-time highs through 2025. And of course, I'll be sharing the technical analysis on Solana alongside chart comparisons on Bitcoin and Ethereum so we can get a better understanding of a likely time frame on these new all-time highs for Solana and more. So if you're feeling blessed and bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to be the wealthiest person in your family tree, be sure to smash the subscribe button. Before we dive in, a quick reminder that the opinions in this video are for informational and educational purposes only and do not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. All investments, including cryptos, carry risks and potential losses. Always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor. We are not licensed financial advisors, and relying on our content for financial decisions is at your own risk. By watching this video, you agree we are not responsible for any losses or damages, and we do not guarantee any specific results or outcomes. Some of the links below may be affiliate links, and we may earn a commission, which actually helps support this channel and helps us to create value-based videos like this. We also hold some positions in the cryptocurrencies that we talk about, but that's only because we do what we believe in. However, this should not be interpreted as a recommendation for you to do the same. With that said, let's get into the video. Hello and welcome to the Bull Runner channel. My name is Paul if you're new here, and first and foremost, I'll be covering a lot of charts and things that may feel a bit technical, especially if you're new. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, even if you're not too experienced with charts or technical analysis. I'll be sure to try to keep things as simple as possible and explain why and how they work at a very base level so you can interpret the data I share easily. So let's dive in. So before we dive into whether or not Solana can actually hit 1,000, which I believe is very much possible and potential, and even more so, I think it's important to note that the market cap this time around is different. It is actually bigger right now, even though the price of Solana hit 260 back in the day. In other words, when Solana broke out above its weekly high, it actually pumped pretty dang hard, and it pumped all the way up to this high at about 260 for a total of 5,500%. Now, I think a lot of people mistakenly assume because it's done that in the past, it's going to do it again. But it's important to take note of the law of diminishing returns. Here is a very long-term price chart of Bitcoin starting out at literally under a penny. And when we first put in our new all-time high at about $30, you can see when we broke out above that, we hit a total of 5,200%. The next time we broke out above the previous all-time high, we put in a 1,700% gain. Yet again, from the $20,000 all-time high to the $72,000, or I would say $6,800 all-time high right here. And yet again, from the $20,000 high to the $69,000 all-time high of the previous bull market cycle, it only pumped 259%. Now, comparing Solana to Bitcoin, if we were to assume, okay, this was in its infant stages back here for a 5,500% gain, similar to Bitcoin, and then we put in a 1,700% gain from a pump of the all-time high above 260, that would put us at about $4,700 on Solana. Personally, I don't think that's realistic because there is also a situation where we are getting token emissions. When you look at the actual market cap of the previous all-time high at $260, it was at about $78 billion. In March of 2024, you can see the market cap was $87 billion, yet the price was actually lower. Price only pumped to $206 in that time frame. Why? Because more and more tokens were flooding the market from venture capitalists, from the team, from their treasury, so on and so forth. It's very similar to the US dollar and inflation. The more that hits the market, the more it dilutes the value of each and every token. However, it wouldn't be far-fetched for anyone to believe that Solana is going to hit at least $1,000 this bull market cycle, which would only be a 478% return. Now, that is by any TradFi standard or traditional financial standard, absolutely nutty. However, in the case of crypto, because people are so addicted to this fast and easy money, I would argue Solana is a really good pick because it does have utility. It's already well established, and we have a lot of key factors that we're going to get to right now that are going to make it one of the best performing cryptos this bull market cycle that is not only a good performer, but also safe from a portfolio perspective. Now, the first of the major bullish catalysts I want to talk about is the fact that SolLayer, which is a staking platform on Solana, launched SUSD, a user-friendly, real-world asset-backed stablecoin on Solana. And when we look at stablecoins and you do your homework and research, stablecoins are arguably one of the best use cases of blockchain technology and crypto. Everyone is trying to get into the stablecoin space now because it is so profitable. And to give you context, BlackRock, with like 20,000 employees, produced a profit of $5.5 billion last year. Tether, with only 100 employees, produced a profit of $6+ billion. So yes, stablecoins are very profitable, and not only are they profitable, it's because there is a solid use case for them. People are constantly trading in them. So launching a stablecoin on Solana is huge, and not just any stablecoin, but a real world asset backed stablecoin. So let's just cover the news really quick. Unlike traditional stablecoins, which are pegged to fiat currency held by a central authority, SUSD is backed by a basket of low risk assets such as treasury bills and government bonds issued by the United States Department of Treasury. So they are far more easily tradable. Anyone with $5 can access the tokenized real world assets, which is actually quite impressive, which also means there's access worldwide for people in lower income countries. That said, the US Treasury bill is the first asset onboarded in partnership with Open Eden. Now, what's so beautiful about Open Eden is the fact that they are the very first company to get a tokenized US T-bill to receive a Moody's credit rating. Now, Moody's provides credit ratings that help market participants make informed decisions. This is actually the same company that a lot of major banks use to either buy debt, sell debt, whether or not they want to take on risk. And so we're talking about a T-bill in a tokenized asset class. And it's bringing USD to the Solana ecosystem. Again, that is massive. The second major reason is because it's rumored that in 2025, the very first crypto that is not Bitcoin or Ethereum that will receive a spot ETF is Solana, being that it is the fifth largest crypto by market cap. And even investment manager Van Eck, which was on June 27th, on Thursday, filed to list the first US exchange traded fund tied to the spot price of the crypto token Solana. So that would be a spot ETF. This is actually what caused Bitcoin to break out to a new all-time high back in March before the long range of accumulation that we've recently experienced and are starting to break out of. However, many predict that Solana truly will be the very first to get a spot ETF in 2025. In terms of market cap, Solana ranks fifth among all major cryptocurrencies, which is a huge determining factor because the market cap can be a useful proxy for investor demand. In other words, the more money in a market, the more likely there's more demand. As a general rule of thumb, Wall Street isn't going to launch a product if there isn't sufficient demand for it. So it's worth looking into how much demand is coming from both retail and institutional investors. Now, a crypto investment firm, GSR, basically ran the numbers, and they said the firm's demand analysis took into account three key factors: the market cap and trading volume, one; two, assets under management of investment products already in the marketplace; and then finally, three, size, activity, and reach of the online community for a specific token, which we're going to get into here just in a second. Across all of these metrics, Solana outpaced rivals like XRP, Cardano, and Avalanche. Institutional investor inflows, Solana still had a clear lead over major rivals XRP, Cardano, and Litecoin in terms of year-to-date inflows. In other words, more money is flowing into Solana than anything else at around the same size or market cap. So let's go ahead and take a look at social dominance for Solana. Now, here's the reality. This may look quite overwhelming, but I'm going to do my best to explain it. Basically, all of these lines are different cryptos. So the blue line is Bitcoin, the yellow line is Ethereum, the red line is Solana. Then we have in these colors, right, XRP is the orange line, and then finally this pink line is Dogecoin. And the way this tool Sentiment is tracking social dominance, it basically takes into consideration the top 50 cryptos, whether it's by market cap or just how often they're talked about on social media, and then tracks about how much they dominate the social conversations of people in crypto from a percentage-based standpoint. In other words, if I drag this little cursor over here over any one day, you can see on the left-hand side just above my head, that the social dominance of Solana at the time was 5.65%. In other words, of the top 50 cryptos, Solana was talked about 5.65% of the time, while Bitcoin at that exact same time was talked about 19% or 18.92%. If I drag it all the way to present day, you can see the social dominance on Solana is 3.85%. The social dominance on Ethereum is 6.4%. But across the board, what's really interesting is Ethereum has kind of struggled and lagged. You see this yellow line, it's consistently staying flat with one spike and drop. However, Solana, this little red line all the way down here, is starting to trend up and put a nice new trend in. They all drop in unison because the crypto market is very highly correlated. They all kind of trade the same. However, when you start to see something like this, where you really start to see the trend start to move up into the right here versus looking like this right in the middle, that's a very good indicator that there's something coming. Now, when you look at the social dominance of Solana versus basically the other two major competitors for market cap, XRP and Doge, Solana is easily and well outperforming them. When it comes to Ethereum and Bitcoin, again, they are the largest, they're the biggest. People still talk about Ethereum because more people have money in Ethereum than they have Solana, and that shows in the market cap. But what I really want to focus on is just Solana's social dominance. As you can see here, we peaked off on March 17th of 2024. It was talked about 11.61% of the time, which is currently higher than Ethereum. And since that point in time, things have been relatively lagging and low, but for the very first time, we're starting to put a new trend in social dominance with a higher high right here. The previous high was in June 27th. So yes, things are trending up for Solana. And the good news is that's corroborated and confirmed by Google Trends when you look up Solana over the past 5 years. Since 2021, we put in a 92 score on November 7th through the 13th, and that was when we hit an all-time high, basically. We actually hit a new higher high in March, even though the price didn't go as high because, again, we had a larger market cap, and probably the market hadn't peaked or topped off yet, which totally makes sense. But now we're starting to get a newer high of a rating of 35 as of this week. So things are starting to look really good for Solana, and I do expect this thing to peak off and potentially put in a higher high than our March high back here when things top off. Now we're going to look at TVL, or total value locked. Now, basically all this means is money is flowing into a specific ecosystem like Solana, or in this case, we're tracking Solana, Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, and Sui. And that money is then locked up or staked into any of their DeFi protocols, dexes, or it's being lent and borrowed. And all this means is that it is a good and exciting ecosystem with probably some good incentives for people to be there. That said, this blue line is Solana, and as again right above my head you can see all of the lines, the colors that they are, okay? And basically since March, when we actually put in a high of about $210 to $213, you can see that although we have not broke out above that high, the TVL has consistently grown and increased and recently peaked off on October 26th with $7.24 billion. This is completely indicative of a major growth in the Solana ecosystem. However, on that same time frame, right, this green line Arbitrum is actually trending down, which means money is flowing out of that ecosystem. Base is the only other crypto right now that has trended up in the same time frame since basically September 30th alongside Solana. And then you have Sui beginning to outperform Optimism with 642 million on Optimism, 971 million on Sui in that time frame. But as of present day, Solana is absolutely dominating virtually all major competitors for TVL, L1s, L2s, and the only thing it has yet to outperform is Ethereum. However, Ethereum is severely lagging. But Ethereum is such a big player to beat, it almost looks like an ant in comparison, right? Back in May 26th of this year, Ethereum had $67.61 billion in TVL, and since that point in time, it's actually declined and has failed to break to new highs as of October 29th or October 30th, down to $50 billion. So yes, they've actually lost TVL. Money is leaving Ethereum, while in that same time frame, more than $1 billion has found its way into Solana. So when you see a strong uptrend and a very small TVL on something like Solana, that actually spells opportunity. So I'm sure Solana is going to create plenty of millionaires this bull market cycle. And if you're ready to become a crypto millionaire, then go ahead and hop on down to the description or the link below, bullrunners.com, in order to join our early bird list for exclusive altcoin picks, market analysis, and access our crypto education inner circle. It is first come, first serve. We can't accept everyone into the inner circle, obviously, because we can't really pay attention or focus on 1,000 people all at once. We really want to make sure that we're actually serving our clients and our people. So that said, it is first come, first serve. The sooner that you actually sign up, the better. And it doesn't require anything from you other than literally reserving your spot on the list. Okay, so again, one more time, bullrunners.com, and let's get back into the video. Now, here's another really cool metric that proves to me that we are just beginning to see Solana on the verge of a breakout. Whenever Solana is about to break out or putting in some new highs, you can see that these little red dots appear where it shows that it's ranking in number first place on their social trends tool, which really tracks the amount of conversations, the amount of social engagements and interactions, and just how often a crypto is talked about versus other cryptos. So whenever you see first, it's obviously a good indicator that things are getting ready to pop off. And yet again, you see first here, 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 and then finally at its actual Pico top back in March. Well, in similar fashion, we're starting to see a lot of firsts, a lot of fifths, a lot of second place rankings right now. Why? Probably because things are getting really heated up in the Solana ecosystem, and probably because it's on the verge of a breakout. And this is further confirmed by the open interest. Now, for those of you guys who are new to open interest or don't really know what it is, this is open interest on futures positions, or basically contracts. Now, in order to open a contract, basically you have to have one person on one side of the trade and one person on the other. In other words, for one contract, there has to be a short person and a long person, okay? Or someone who's willing to say, I'm betting that the price is going to go up, and the other person is saying, I'm betting that the price is going to go down. Now, what's beautiful about this indicator is that it kind of tells us a story. Whenever I see open interest increase and break to new all-time highs, then it's confirmed by the price movement. That means longs are beginning to open. So yes, this move is confirmed by open interest. We are getting more contracts being opened as the price goes up. Again, that is a confirmation that more people are long than short. which is actually also showing up on the liquidation map. If you look to the left, and I'll just get rid of all of these other little lines here, you can see that on the left-hand side, we have the cumulative long liquidations. You see how big this thing is? This means that if the price of Solana went down to $153, or that little number right above my head, then about $650 million of longs would be liquidated. On the flip side, do you see how flat and long this one is? Why? Because if the price of Solana hits about $202, then only $257 million of shorts, or people who believe that the price is going to go lower, not higher, are going to lose their positions. In other words, I just want to make this very, very simple. Whenever you get a big thing over here that looks way taller and bigger on the left-hand side for long liquidations, this means the majority of the market is long. And that is a good indicator when I put it on a 30-day time frame that yes, things are looking really good for Solana to the upside. Now what I want to do is a chart comparison analysis between Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Okay, so right here, this green line is representative of the price of Bitcoin, and this is on a percentage scale. In other words, if we were to look back on August 31st of 2020, okay, Bitcoin would have been up about 218%. Ethereum is the purple line. It would have been up about 467%, while Solana would have been up a whopping 884%. But what I'm really after is just looking about how they trade against each other in the same time frame. So as you can see here, this green line was actually leading the market. In other words, Bitcoin typically leads the market. Then at one point in time, Ethereum started taking over and leading the market, while Solana, the candlesticks right here, lagged. But then at one point when they both popped off to their local highs, you can see Solana was actually lagging the market. And then after they actually started dumping a bit, Solana pumped really hard. Okay, and so what this means is typically money is rotating into Solana. In that time frame, they all kind of chilled out for a bit, built a base and a range, and look at what Solana did, really started taking off. Now at that time, Bitcoin had basically already topped off right here and started breaking down, while money continued to rotate into Solana through this range. And on the same note, so did Ethereum. But as you can see here, Ethereum topped off right around here at about 900% gain, while Solana had one last little oomph type pump in it where it really pumped hard up to $58. Now, in that time frame, Solana consistently outperformed both Ethereum and Bitcoin, being that it was younger, being that it was exciting, being that FTX backed it by like crazy. So did Binance, so did all these major players, and it was just the new L1 token on the block. But again, what I'm really after is trying to get a time frame from when this could potentially happen. And as you can see here, these bars are Solana. And in this time frame, you can see that yet again, Bitcoin started outperforming the market sooner before everything else. Then Ethereum shortly followed thereafter and put its all-time high in. And then right thereafter, close to about, November 1st versus October 20th. So we had about a 10-day period where Solana lagged and then pumped to its high, and they all kind of peaked off around the same time before being positively correlated, and they all started to dump. In other words, Solana tends to lag the market. And as you can see here, yet again, the green line being Bitcoin is currently outperforming Solana since March. However, I don't expect that to be the case forever. While Ethereum is severely underperforming the market in this purple line, down 26%, Solana is only down 3%, and Bitcoin is currently up 5%, which means, yes, Bitcoin is currently leading the market, and it usually does. But once Bitcoin tops off, so it's Solana's turn shortly thereafter. So taking into consideration that Solana is likely going to pump really hard after Bitcoin starts to put in some new all-time highs, which again is already happening. Bitcoin recently broke above an all-time high at $73,600. So things are looking really good. I'm going to make this analysis very straightforward and simple. And yes, it actually can be this simple. As you can see here, inside of our support zone right here, we have a long, strong range of many, many wicks with one major liquidation event for a Wyckofian type pattern. We are currently printing a new trend once we broke into this range for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th time. After 7 times of not breaking below the $128 to $120 support zone, we started putting a new trend of a series of higher highs, higher low, higher high. I'm assuming we're going to get a higher low somewhere in this range, maybe at about 160 before we start to hit this current resistance range. And as you notice right back here, we have a prior resistance, which makes sense that now it would be a support. This is a very, very long time for Solana to hang out in such a strong, long range. And this is what I would call a rectangle right between this range right here. So if we break above a very long, strong range or a rectangle, the longer the range, the stronger the breakout. The last time we had a range like this on a breakout, it was like 120 some days. Now it's over double that now. So we are at a point where if we break out above this resistance at about $205, then it's highly likely not only are we going to go to at least $260, which is our previous all-time high, but yes, we're going to put in a new all-time high. And again, it's not crazy to imagine that something as exciting as Solana on any one catalyst or major market move where an institution really starts to adopt it couldn't do at least 480%. So go ahead and let me know in the comments how much you think Solana is going to pump this bull market cycle. What's your target for Solana and how do you think it's going to play out? With that said, if you are ready to be a crypto millionaire, again, go to the link in the description or the bio below, or you can even find a link in the very first pinned comment directly from the Bull Runners. If you want to be a crypto millionaire, to join our early bird list for exclusive altcoin picks, market analysis, and access our crypto education inner circle, we're almost launching this entire program. So the sooner that you actually reserve your spot on the list, the better, because it is come on a first come, first serve basis. So one last time, bullrunners.com. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.